What up, YouTube? You already know. Big Lou tapping back in with what it do with Big Lou and FZR2, baby. And as always, first time you're coming to the channel, it'd be highly appreciated if you like, sub, and share the channel with your family, friends, peoples, gente, folks, buddies, pals, amigos, amicos, and panas. And feel free to leave a comment. I respond back to all the comments. Um, that being said, um, it's a nice cold uh, December Sunday afternoon. It's halftime of the Raider game, New England Raiders. It's 17-3 half. So I took a little break and made this video. This is a video that I've been wanting to touch for a while, but it's a delicate situation, a delicate topic. Um, and some are not going to agree with me. Again, this is just my opinion. This is just my perspective. This is, uh, this is not something, that's like I said, it's just my opinion. And it's something that's bothered me for a while. Not for a while, but since this went down, and a little bit too, the topic, some of the situation at hand, as far as what transpired up to this point, and then obviously the deal that happened to get somebody back to American soil. So, a little bit of background. Brittney Griner, is a women's National Basketball Association player. She's an all-star, I believe, at some point, not some point, but some seasons. She's about 6'8", I believe, 6'7", 6'8". I believe she's either a power forward or a center. Anyways, what I was getting to was, you know, and this is all within your rights as an American citizen. You have the right to decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So with that being said, where the parts come in with the decision making was during our national anthems. A lot of athletes, starting with Colin Kaepernick, decided to not stand during the national anthems of sports events, um, which it depends what what your the reasoning behind it, why you're doing it. If it's for equality, social justice, as far as equality and stuff like that, I get that. You know what I mean? But if you're one of those ones that are just trying to be like defiant and show that, hey, I don't stand during the national anthem, but yet you're not doing nothing to combat the situation at hand that you believe is a problem, right? Which we all know that certain people, in this case, certain players and people in society get different treatment. That's if you don't agree with that, then I don't know. I don't know, but nonetheless, doesn't mean people decide to handle things differently than other people, and they're all entitled to that. That's their right, right? So when it comes to the national anthem, like I said, Brittney Griner decided that she wasn't going to participate in standing during the national anthem, which me personally, I don't dig that, but it's her right, and she has the right to do so because of our troops and those that fought, for to keep those rights intact, right? But this is the part that bothers me, is that once she was so if people don't know, unlike the NBA, the Men's National Basketball Association, the WNBA is the women's, right? Women's National Basketball Association. They don't get paid as much money as the men. They don't have the endorsement deals like the men. So a lot of ball players in the off season will play for, summer, or I guess you would call that, yeah, like a summer league, summer team, and they would go to Australia, in this case Russia, the different Oriental countries, some Latin countries, and they'll have a basketball league, and people will participate and play in these leagues, right? Same thing with baseball. You got the Winter League, you got the Puerto Rican leagues, and a lot of players, Americans, go down and go play there. Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Japan, so on and so forth. So obviously, as an American citizen, well, you should know that the Russian laws are different than here. Okay, it's more in a lot of sense. A lot of times, it's more in control type deals, right? So weed, even though it's legal here in most states, it's legal, and it is pretty much legal across the board for recreational use. It's not the same in these other countries. So you should have known better, and you should have cleaned up after yourself. There's no reason that you should have even put that stuff in your luggage to come here, United States, when you can get that stuff a dime a dozen, right? Here, the cartridges, whatever it was. So then they tacked on these, which I agree were bogus charges, but there was a bigger picture in this deal with the Russians. I think they knew that if they did that and arrested her and and all that, they would have proposed a prisoner swap for you know uh, a big deal, a real deal Holyfield person to them. You know what I'm saying? And so they held her, they held her, and yeah, there's only so much weight that the what department would that be? The Secretary of State. They're head of the I can't think of the name of the department they're ahead of, but they're the ones that place all the diplomats in the U.S. and the embassies. They're in control of the embassies and all the relations between other countries in the U.S. Right. So Anthony Blinken is in that position right now. Previously, it was Mike, one out of Kansas. I can't think of his last name right now. Italian last name. Um, and then at one point, Hillary Clinton had that position, right? Secretary of State. Um, anyways, you know, they can only put so much pressure on different countries to release people. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, though, but it just seemed like to me, in my, you don't want to stand. This is how I feel about it. You don't want to stand during the national anthem. Now you get yourself in trouble. You know what I'm saying? That was your thinking. You should have been on top of it when you put that stuff in your luggage. You should know. Everybody knows that Russia's got different laws. They don't like Americans. So she should have known that it was possibly going to be a problem there. Why even take a chance? And then you find yourself in a position like that. So now you don't want to stand for the national anthem. You speak out against certain things, which again is her right to do so. But then when she gets in trouble, then it's, hey, help me out. I'm an American. Now you're an American, right? I mean, again, that's probably the wrong word I'm using. We know she's an American, but it just seems like, I don't know. I just don't like the way it was carried out. And let's be real, they played us. The Russians played us. You know what I'm saying? Here's a little bit. I want to give you guys a little background on what happened. Um, so this was about she got freed from Russian detention after a prisoner exchange for a convicted arms dealer, Viktor Bout. Griner, a championship-winning player with the WNBA's Phoenix Mercury, who for years played for a Russian basketball team in the WNBA's off-season, right, which I kind of covered. Had been held in that country since February after she was arrested on drug possession charges at Moscow airport. Her release comes nearly 8 months after Trevor Reed, a former U.S. Marine, had been detained in Russia since 2019. Was released during a prisoner swap for Russian citizen Konstantin Yaroshenko. The Biden administration had been working to secure Griner's release along with another American, Paul Whelan, who has been held by Russia for alleged espionage since 2018. CNN first reported in July that a potential deal for a prisoner exchange for Bout for Griner and Whelan had been offered by the Biden administration. Here is what we know about Griner's detention and the prisoner exchange that resulted in her release. Like I already mentioned, she was being jailed because of having less than a gram of cannabis oil in her luggage, right? While at Moscow's airport. I can't pronounce the name. I'm not even going to try. Russian authorities accuse her of smuggling significant amounts of narcotic substance, which the Russian government says is punishable by up to 10 years in prison, right? Um, and then she was transferred around to a few different places, and I think she was sentenced to something like 9 years or something like that. Um, in July, she was sentenced to 9 years in jail. Her attorneys appealed the conviction in October and asked for more lenient sentences by a Russian judge, but the judge upheld her conviction while modifying her sentence to count the time she spent in pretrial detention after her February 17th arrest. After being held in detention in Ikshka in November, she was transferred to a penal colony in Yavas in western Russian region of Mordovia. There have been concern about the health and well-being of Griner, who is black and a lesbian, while detained in Russia. So Russia has they used to have real harsh laws on homosexuality, but they decriminalized it in '93. But all along, there's still a big, big, big time homophobia and discrimination still exists, it persists big time there in Russia. Um, so they got this dude, they swapped for this dude Victor Bout, who's who was nicknamed the Merchant of Death, right? Um, he's a former Soviet military officer serving a 25-year prison sentence in the United States on charges of conspiring to kill Americans, acquire and export anti-aircraft missiles, and provide material support to a terrorist organization. Bout has maintained he is innocent. Um, and so basically, like I had mentioned, they basically just played us, right? Um, they took an American who was considered a celebrity, a ball player, um, and they knew that what they're known for, treating people that are homosexual, gay, however you want to say it, treating them bad, and then also she's, I don't really know if the racist is big over there, but she's black. So I don't know if they trip on that, but definitely the homosexuality is one thing for sure, and um, I believe that the Russians knew how outspoken she was and what she, wouldn't stand for the national anthem and such, and I think that, and then I'm pretty sure too in Russia it's a labor prisons, right? Where you have to work, and so they knew what they were doing, so they they put that name out there to get uh, Victor Bout, the AKA the Merchant of Death, out of the American prisons and swap them, and they could have they still could have pushed to get that dude Paul Whelan out of there, and then they exchanged them at I think it was in Dubai. Let me see if I can find that part. Um, I believe in the Dubai airport is where they exchanged them right then and there. They both walked past each other. This is what has Paul Whelan said. The former Marine, who is a U.S., Irish, British, and Canadian citizen, was detained at Moscow hotel in December 2018 for allegedly being involved in an intelligence operation on Thursday. He was happy that Griner was released, but he said he was led to believe that things were moving in the right direction and that the governments were negotiating and that something would happen fairly soon in his case. Speaking in an exclusive phone call from the penal colony where he is being held in a remote location, in a remote part of Russia, Whelan also told CNN he was surprised not to have been included in the swap with Bout, and he is greatly disappointed that the Biden administration has not done more to secure his release. This is what he said: "I am greatly disappointed that more has not been done to secure my release, especially as the 4-year anniversary of my arrest is coming up. I was arrested for a crime that never occurred," he said. "I don't understand why I'm still sitting here." And that was from Whelan, ex-Marine, and yeah, so he's still sitting there. His family wants him released, and she's now back here on United States soil, free. And we got this Merchant of Death now is released, who was doing a 25-year sentence, is now released and running around back in Russia. He was important, obviously, to the Russian government, for his arms dealing, and now with everything that's going on with Ukraine and Russia, I doubt that he's lost any of his ties, right? Any of his connections, and we'll see what happens on that. You know what I'm saying? You know, if it ever comes to the point where the United States steps in to help Ukraine, um, what ends up happening there? Is this guy going to be still involved with getting arms to to help kill Americans? I don't know, but I feel that we got played big time on this one. Um, I get it though. Let's try to get her home. She's an American citizen. Just because that's what I kind of fight with myself, is because I don't agree with the not standing for the national anthem, but then again, I don't like hold it personally against them. Like I wish anything harm on them. It's just something I don't agree with. And then, you know, then you get caught up over there for your own stupidity, and then you want to get help then by the American, your government, which I still get that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. You agree to disagree, but I don't wish any harm on her or anybody else that feels the way they feel. I just hope that now after this has happened with her, that she kind of like she kind of like changes her views on some things. Not everything, you know what I'm saying? Not everything. Hopefully, just she'll start pushing the fight for different things overseas, humanity rights and stuff like that. Well, who knows what happens out of it? But this is just a little video I wanted to drop, regarding that. Like I said, feel free to leave comments. Anybody, if you want to challenge anything I said or you don't agree with anything I said, feel free to put it in the comments. You know, like I said, it's all good in Hollywood to disagree. Agree to disagree. Again, I don't wish no harm on nobody. This video is only for educational purposes and to go over some trending, situations that's went over, you know, with the United States government or the Russian government. That's all, nothing more. And I still wish her all the best, and hopefully this dude Viktor Bout changes his tune and he don't get involved with firearms and trying to kill, assisting in killing Americans. You know what I'm saying, or anybody at that matter. With that being said, Big Lou's gonna tap on out. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. If you decided to put a comment in there that you're doing some sharing, I appreciate everybody, man. Like always, Big Lou tapping out.